Hello and welcome to another episode of eLearning Designer Weekly, the series where I take you behind the scenes into life as a freelance e-learning designer. It's Monday afternoon now, and I'm about to dive into an e-learning development project for a client that I subcontract for. And I feel like this would be a good time to talk about subcontracting because when I first started my freelance e-learning business, pretty much every client I had, or the majority of the clients that I had, were subcontracting clients. So they would have their clients, they needed an instructional designer or e-learning developer to actually do the work. So they would contact me, and they would take a big cut of that pay to manage the project, even if it's me just in direct talks with the client. And the issue with that is that if the client who hired you doesn't have a very good handle on the project scope, and if they're not very good at communicating with their client and communicating what they're paying for and what they're not paying for, then it can really put you as a subcontractor in a very tough spot because you want to make the end client happy, but you also want to get paid for your work and you want your expertise to be respected. So I was in some situations where it was just not good for anyone involved because I would try to push back on the client about things that are out of scope, or I would want to do that, but then my client, the one who's actually paying me, is like, oh no, don't tell the client no, just we want to give them what they want. So definitely a learning experience, definitely not a situation you want to be in, but I've been working hard to try to work more with direct clients and only directly with clients so that I can have that relationship running a bit more smoothly. But there are two people who I still subcontract for. One is a big agency and one is this woman that I do e-learning development work for. So they both handle their clients well. They both pay me whatever I ask for basically. So it's not like I'm, charging hourly or meticulously counting my hours or anything like that. It's just fixed price stuff. They tell me what they need, I give them a price, and then we sign the paperwork. So yeah, I do still have a couple of clients I subcontract for, but generally, it is a lot of subcontracting relationships are not the best for the freelancer or subcontractor. So it does take a while to figure out what kind of relationships work for you. But yeah, if you do have any more questions about that, feel free to let me know. Always happy talking about my nightmare of a first year in business and the lessons learned. So I'm sure I'll do more videos about that to come. But so I'm going to work on that e-learning development stuff. Depending on how long it takes, maybe I'll have a chance to dive into the Beyond Me and Chameleon Creator project, which is going to be this cool little web-based, simple interactive e-learning project that I talked about in the last video. So we'll work on that together because I can't show the e-learning development subcontracting work just because that's the nature of subcontracting. You can't really share that kind of stuff. But the Beyond Me and Chameleon Creator project, I'll take you through it every step of the way. I'll share what we're working on. So yeah, I will see you later. Hello again, it is now end of day on Monday. I got as far as I could on that e-learning development client work, but I am waiting on some final assets and design decisions from the client, so that might take a few days. We will wait and see. I'm sharing this XAPI Unarticulate Storyline event. This was a live event that aired a couple of weeks ago, but I'm just adding it to YouTube so that people can, view it right here on the channel, and I edited out some of that dead space where nothing was happening. So I still need to make a quick thumbnail for this, but that shouldn't take very long. I've also started this planning document for the Beyond Me and Chameleon Creator project that I'm working on that I mentioned at the end of last week's video. So I just have the target audience here, adults in the United States that are conscious of their health and the environment, because again, Beyond Me is a plant-based meat company, and I'm making a quick e-learning experience for them. So I wanted to get the learning objectives down so that I knew where I was going with this learning experience exactly. So here they are. By the end of the e-learning experience, people should be able to recognize the Beyond Meat brand, identify the key ingredients of Beyond Meat, state how it's better for your health and the environment, and identify the different products in the lineup, as well as identify where to buy Beyond Meat products. So I'm just going to take all of this from their website. The information should all be pretty easy to find. I don't really need a subject matter expert or anything like that. So it's perfect for the type of experience I'm trying to create here. I think what I'll do next is I'm going to think if there's some kind of creative way I can get the users or get someone's interest when they're starting the course rather than just diving right into it. But yeah, I think I'll leave this for tomorrow. I'll do some thinking about it, and I'll probably check in with you once I've made some progress on that tomorrow. So I will see you then. Hello. It is now towards the end of the workday on Tuesday. I've been keeping busy with a lot of social media stuff on LinkedIn, sending stuff out to my mailing list. I've been chatting with some people, but I did make progress on the Beyond Meat project as promised. This outline didn't get very far. I kind of just included important links that I needed, to make sure that I was looking in the right place for the information. And then I decided to go ahead and start prototyping directly in Chameleon Creator. I pulled assets from the company's website, and I'll show you how I did that. So you can just right-click any of these images and select Inspect. And then if you click on this little selection tool, you can click on the image, and it will give you the URL for that image over here in the Elements panel. So if I copy and paste that URL, you can see it opens up a nice high-quality version of that image. And I did the same with this nice burger image, and all these other pieces that I wanted to include in the course. So it's a cool way to get assets from a website without having to screenshot it and worry about what text is over it and stuff like that. So once I had enough assets to work with, I started building it here in Chameleon Creator. This is the tool. Whenever you want to build something new, again, this is what that interface looks like. And I have put together a few screens. This text, I think, needs some sort of treatment because right now I think it's a bit hard to read with the background. So I will have to look into that. Then I have this quick 30-second advertisement video to just introduce the brand and explain what Beyond Meat is. And now I dive into some of the benefits. And I might have some screens in between these pieces. I just wanted to play around with these different types of screens. And here are some product cards where you can flip them to learn more. Like you see here, you're not really learning a whole lot. It's just what the product is, but maybe I will add to this. So yeah, that's where we are with the Beyond Meat project. I'm kind of just prototyping as I go and figuring out what interactions will work best for which type of content. And just playing around with the tool and learning more about what it can and cannot do. So yeah, I'm having fun with that. I will work on it more tonight, but I probably won't make a ton of progress. So I will check in with you tomorrow to show you the updated Beyond Meat project, and I think I'm just going to call it a night in about an hour or so here. See you then. Hello, it is now Wednesday, and I've been keeping busy. The first thing I did is pay my quarterly taxes. That's an important task for any freelancers in the United States. I've also been normalizing audio files because one of my clients, they wanted to do all of the narration for one of these e-learning projects themselves. So they had some employees record these scripts themselves. And these aren't professional narrators or anything like that. And having spent a good part of this morning working on that, I think going forward, by default, I'm going to really recommend that we hire professional narrators just because it makes the production value that much higher. And a lot of the work on those files will be done by the time they get to me. Because I spent a lot of time cutting the dead air from the beginning and the end of the audio files, normalizing them so that they're not too loud or too low. And I couldn't really take care of the popping that was in some of them, and professional narrators or professional voiceover artists aren't going to have problems like that. So I went ahead and normalized them with Audacity, just using this effect normalize option. And once I had all of the files normalized, I sent them over to Taylor, my fiance and business partner, and she's going to create the videos in Vyond now that she has those narration files. Because she's worked for years in Vyond, supporting some other clients we've had in the past. So this is one of her specialties. She's really creative with it. So I just hand that off to her. And you probably have heard of this tool, but if not, check it out. It's a way to make these rapid animated videos, and they have a ton of assets and everything included in the program. Also, no surprise, I've been keeping busy on this Beyond Meat and Chameleon Creator project. And let me go ahead and show you how far it's come. I added just a few screens here. All right, so I added this accordion interaction so you can learn more about the ingredients of Beyond Meat products. So that looks pretty nice. Again, these assets all come from the Beyond Meat website. And a lot of the copy does as well. I'm kind of just changing it from we to Beyond Meat believes. So yeah, these nice flashcard or these nice lightbox interactions. I found that a lot of these photos were like exactly what I was looking for from their website. So that worked out very nicely. And then for this product lineup interaction, I just added some more details. Again, this copy is like directly from Beyond Meat's website. And this is where I'm taking it next. I wanted to add a quick quiz or knowledge check type of interaction just to show off the different types of questions that Chameleon Creator can create. So I will probably get that done later tonight, and this will be like a full draft of this project ready. And later tonight at 8 p.m, I'm doing this How to Grow a Freelance E-Learning Business with Kath Ellis. And you might have heard me talk about this in the last video, but I am very excited for it. We already have some great questions like how do you find quality clients? How do you build a brand and attract your first client? How do you know what to charge? How do you start your freelancing business from scratch? And so on and so forth. And we have a decent number of people registered, so I think that this session is going to be really good. I know Kath Ellis has a ton of value she can provide. I'm going to be sharing, everything that I know to help answer these questions. So if you are going to miss it live, you can check it out on my Crowdcast channel, or I will have the recording posted here on YouTube in just a couple of weeks. So going to be a good session that you don't want to miss. It's probably one of the ones I've been the most excited for. So really looking forward to that later tonight. Until then, I'm going to take a lunch break now, and then I'll get back to that Beyond Meat project. And yeah, I'll either check in with you before or after the session with Kath, just to show off the knowledge check questions and maybe to talk about how the session with Kath goes. So I will see you later. Hello again. It is now 10 o'clock at night on Wednesday. We just had a 2-hour Q&A session with Kath Ellis. We had some technical difficulties in the beginning with like an echo with Kath's mic, and her setup wasn't working with Crowdcast for some reason, but we powered through, figured out the echo issue, and yeah, we got through a bunch of questions, and yeah, a good amount of people hung out with us until 10 o'clock at night. So appreciate everyone who was there live, and yeah, that recording will be up on YouTube in a couple of weeks. So I am going to get some well-needed sleep now, and I will see you tomorrow. Hello, it is now Thursday. A bit of a late start for me because yeah, last night I didn't exactly go to sleep. I hopped back on a call with Kath just to catch up and kind of debrief from the session, and we wound up talking until 4 a.m. my time. So good conversation, but yeah, a bit of a late start. I did make some progress on this Chameleon Creator Beyond Meat course. I think a full draft is done. We can just run through it, even though I think you've seen most of it. I'll try to find something new. I did build those questions, and I have some feedback I'm going to give Reese, or maybe just like some little issues I had. Yeah, here's like a link, open the store locator. That just opens in a new window, nothing too fancy. Question time, and here we go. So I found when you answer incorrectly, this continue button wasn't like scrolling down and bringing you to the next question, so I had to manually like make it jump there, but I'm sure that should be a quick fix once I bring it to Reese's attention. So here we go. This is like, so you just saw like the drag and drop question types. This is the like a sorting question type. You know, multiple choice questions, simple enough. But yeah, it looks great, I think. Oh, here we go. I found that with those drag and drop questions, you can't include them in like in a scored quiz. So there's a really nice looking results screen, but I couldn't use it since I was using these drag and drop questions. So I'll talk to Reese about that too. But that is the course. Maybe I'll get some feedback on it and see how some things can be improved. But I'm pretty happy with it. You know, I put it together in a few days, and it was a good way to dive in with the tool. Again, the tool is pretty simple. I use most of these interaction types. I didn't really get into like hotspot. The 5-star rating, I don't like having a real accounts with them where I can use their like built-in data collection system. So it would just like generate an email. And I didn't think that was necessary for something like this. But yeah, check it out. I'll go ahead and put that link in the description again if anyone wants to get a free trial with this tool. And let's see what else. Oh, so Shema left a big comment on the last eLearning Designer Weekly video, and she was interested in seeing what kind of questions I ask in the discovery call, and how do I know if the project is a good fit or not. So what I think I'm going to do, and I've already started planning this, is I'm going to make a quick video, a separate video, about handling a discovery call with a potential client. So I'll answer those questions and just dive into my approach to discovery calls a bit deeper. So I've already started outlining that over here, and you know, I'm gonna outline it real quick. I'm gonna put together a simple PowerPoint to guide the video, and then I'll probably bang it out really fast. So that's what I'll be up to next, and I have several ideas about what to do after that video, but we'll see what I wind up working on. So I'll touch base in a bit. Hello. So I am back, and I did get that video live, the Discovery Calls 101 video right here. You know, I developed a thumbnail for it, and yeah, it is now online if you want to check it out. It's on my channel. And it wasn't so bad. It probably took like an hour and a half or so to plan the video, record the video, and then like create the thumbnail and get it online. And then I just quickly shared it to like Twitter, LinkedIn, and my Slack channel. So yeah, it didn't take as long as I might have expected. So I'll probably do quick little 10-minute one-off videos like that if people ask for them. You know, if there's something you want to learn more about or see a quick video on, just drop a comment now, and I will be sure to consider making a video from it. So I do have another one I want to do about like finding purpose as an instructional designer, because that's been a big shift for me this year. I feel like the work I'm doing has much more impact now. So I'll do another video about that, maybe tomorrow, depending on how I'm feeling. But what I do need to work on next and tomorrow is this interactive prototype for a client. I showed off the UI that I designed for this project in the last video, but I need to actually put it together in Storyline, and I'm going to get these Beyond videos from Taylor. She's been working on them the last couple of days. So I'm going to, you know, put together a prototype, make it interactive, and show off that functionality, add some of the videos, and then we'll put that in front of the client and see and get their feedback on the visuals we're using, so we know where we need custom illustrations, because that will be incorporated into the project. And then also just to get feedback on the UI and the functionality and that sort of thing. So I'll show that off tomorrow once I have that interactive prototype ready to send off, and I will see you then. Hi, it is well into the day on Friday now, and I have some very good news. I just got off of a call with Tim Slade. Similar to Kath Ellis, I like to meet with Tim every few weeks. We talk about you know, our businesses, our content marketing, and we are on the same page about a lot of stuff, like you know, how we approach marketing our businesses by producing content to help other practitioners. So Tim Slade has agreed to do a crowdcast session, a Q&A session, just like the one we did with Kath Ellis. So in a couple of weeks, we're going to do a session called From Full-Time to Freelance with Tim Slade. And we're going to be answering all sorts of questions about freelancing, marketing yourself, and particularly transitioning from a full-time job to a freelance business, because Tim Slade did exactly that, and he can definitely speak to doing that effectively. So I am super excited about that. I'm going to hopefully get that session live. I just need to grab a photo from him, and I'll make the thumbnail, and then that session will be up and ready for registrations. So that will be in a couple of weeks on a Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern time, which is my regular crowdcast time, because he is in America. So yeah, put that on your calendars. Not going to want to miss it if you are interested in freelancing in the slightest. As far as what I got done today, I didn't get a ton done on this interactive prototype. I did get some videos in here, and I was working out this, the questions.
You are a new operator.
But I do, and I started working on this blood lead level indicator, and that kind of like fades it or wipes in. I don't think I'm going to send it to the client today. I will try working on it for another hour or two, just until the end of the day. But I had to go back and forth with them a little bit just to get some clarification on some visuals, because I wanted to have it in a more accurate state just for this interactive prototype. So we're making progress on it. It might not get sent out to the client for that full review of the interactive prototype until Monday, but that is okay. And yeah, over the weekend, I'll probably work on this XAPI, like data visualization tutorial I've been thinking about with Veracity. So yeah, I'll talk to you over the weekend. Hello, the weekend is now coming to an end. It is Sunday at around 6 o'clock, and I've been a bit busier than I would have liked this weekend, but I made some good progress on things, so I will show you what I've been up to. This is my public website, and I did this Beyond Meat write-up. So I made this nice mock-up for it. I have a link to experience the full project. And this is what I've been showing you that we've been making all week. And then I actually talked a bit about my process and where I sourced the assets from. I showed off some screenshots and a quick video from the course, and that is that. I also added some testimonials to my website that weren't here before. So, I just pulled them from LinkedIn and I add them over here on my site. And then finally, what did I do? Oh, I wrote a new tutorial today about how to create these pie chart visualizations based off of questions in an e-learning course. So I talked about how to do that with Veracity LRS. That's probably my favorite LRS at the moment. So yeah, it has been a busy weekend, but sometimes I just wanna bang these things out, like the write-up for that Beyond Meat project. I just want to get that over with so that next week I can focus on something new. And yeah, I've given Reese a lot of feedback, having used the tool, so we'll see if some of that gets applied. And yeah, all I have left to do tonight is to edit the video and set up the premiere for tomorrow. So I'm probably not going to do any fancy After Effects editing. I'm just going to use the transitions and effects I already made for the previous videos, just because I kind of want to take it easy as soon as I can, since I have been working on so much this weekend. So I will see you in the next video. If you are enjoying this, please like and subscribe. And if you want to learn more about anything I talked about in this video, or if you want to just get my perspective on anything, drop a comment, because I do plan to start doing multiple YouTube videos per week, and I'd love to know what type of content you want to see most. So I appreciate it, and again, I will see you in the next one.